I'm going to be sharing with you in this video how to stop reacting to your failures and mistakes and always keep moving forward no matter how bad it actually seems. Because in my personal experience, no matter what your vision is, whether you have a vision or don't have a vision, challenges and mistakes, trials and tribulations are always going to happen. But the most important thing is to find out how to use that as actually a tool, right? Because fear and reactivity, all these things are bound to happen. But what we can learn to do in my personal experience is to simply see it in a completely different way. And not only even just to see it in a different way, but even to use it as something beneficial for your life. You can actually use it for something good. You can not only can you just not see it as bad, but you can see it as a useful tool. I'm going to be sharing with you in this video exactly how to actually do this so that you can become that person that you want to be. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you to hit that notification bell. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, all the details for that will be down below. Now, the first thing that I want to share with you in this video is that reacting, getting angry, getting overly emotional, all these things are fine. There's nothing wrong with these emotions. But what I want to share with you is that, I don't know how else to say it, but really, reacting is really, if you look at it from like an energetic perspective, you look at it from a perspective of like just pure energy and usefulness. Just like, is it helping you? Because I don't want to say this without sounding like too vulgar or too, I don't know, like I don't want to sound too pushy, if that makes sense. But really, if you look at these emotions, reacting is a waste of time and it's a waste of energy. It really is. Because like the thing is that all these emotions are not allowing you to feel the way that you want to feel, nor is it allowing you to generate the types of experiences that you would like to actually have in your life. So the thing is that eventually what I've come to realize is that these emotions are fine. There's nothing wrong with these emotions. There's nothing wrong. I'm going to get to that in a second here. But really, if you look at it from a logical perspective, it is a waste of time and energy. It's really blocking you. It's blocking you. It's not allowing you to move forward from the mistakes, because people that are very, very successful at what they do and are very, very powerfully creating the life that they actually want, what they've come to realize is that actually the most important thing is to see those mistakes. Okay, there's nothing wrong with those mistakes. Those mistakes are going to be there. They're going to come up, but then what they do is they look at those mistakes and they simply do not allow those mistakes to define their identity. They don't allow it. They don't like if you look at a master in any area, whether it's some kind of skill, whether it's some kind of thing that they're learning, whatever it is that they're learning in their life, whatever they're trying to master in their life, what you'll find is that with these masters, what they do is, first of all, they're very disciplined in one particular direction. They're not fragmented. They don't usually have lots of energy going in multiple different directions. They're very focused. They're very dedicated to their craft. Whatever it is that they're trying to master, they're very dedicated to their craft. But one of the things that they do is, first of all, they expect that there's going to be mistakes and lessons. See, because people that are not very dedicated, not very focused, what they do is, first of all, they've not even made a decision that they're going to be dedicated and focused in a particular direction. That's the first mistake. They have zero expectations that negativity and mistakes and challenges and perhaps even people thinking that they're not going to be able to create what they want, they don't have expectations that these things are probably going to happen. So not only have many people that don't create success not made a choice on what it is that they want to create. That's the first mistake that usually people make in my past experience. The second thing that people do is that they are not having proper expectations of what is going to come up in their life, just bad expectations, or you could say improper expectations. And also as well, the thing that most people don't consider is that in this entire process, while they're creating what they want and focusing in this disciplined area, they just give up too fast. They give up way too quickly, because what they're doing is the first mistake happens and then they just give up. They just give up. They imagine if a toddler just gave up when it didn't know, like when it fell down, when it was walking. It sounds like a silly example, and I've said it in other videos, but I really believe this is a beautiful example, because what it's showing you is that we all have this deep innate intelligence within us to keep going, to keep moving forward in our life, no matter what's happening, no matter how bad the challenges may seem. And I'm not saying that there's not extremely negative and seemingly and I'm not saying seemingly because they don't exist, but I'm saying that when you move forward from the mistake, it can be something that you look back on and be like, you know what, it was negative, but I got through it and I was able to overcome it. So I say seemingly because you can reframe these negative situations, and I'm going to share with you in a second here how to do that. But the thing is that you can move through these negative situations in your life, and what you can do is really see them as just opportunities to become more of what it is that you prefer to be. And so eventually what happens is that when you dedicate yourself to some craft, when you dedicate yourself to the path of mastery and discipline, and you decide, you know what, I'm going to keep going in this direction that I want. I'm going to keep going despite the challenges, despite the failures, despite things that are seemingly going against what I want. And again, I say seemingly because you can see them in a different way. I'm not saying that these challenges are not real. I'm not saying that these challenges are not true challenges, that feel very true. And I say feel and seemingly because oftentimes these challenges that feel so real and feel like they're gripping on you, that's your cue and your sign to see those challenges in a new and unique way that will allow you to move forward from them. And I say seemingly, again, I sound repetitive here because I feel like when I say seemingly, it might discredit or sound like I'm dishonoring past situations or discredit people, but that's not my intent here. My intent here is for you to become such a powerfully focused person that you don't even see challenges anymore as there's no possibility in your mind that these stumbling blocks and challenges are going to get in the way of your vision. You just don't even see it as a possibility. See, whereas one person can give up so fast and just give up very, very quickly. In another person's reality, it's almost the complete 180 opposite, where they don't even see a possibility of failure. They're just going to keep going. And it doesn't mean that they don't honor how they feel. It just means that there's a focus, there's a dedicated type of energy. So what I want to share with you is that, you know what, it's not completely a waste of time. I want to add one thing in this video before I move on to the other points, which is that it's not a complete waste of time. You know what you'll learn oftentimes in a space of reactivity and pain and suffering and kind of letting yourself be defined by that past and by that pain. You know what you'll get? You'll get one thing. You'll get a powerful lesson. That's what you'll get. You'll get an extremely, extremely powerful lesson. And of course, at the time, you won't look at it in that way. You'll, you know, because we all have these old aspects of ourselves that come up, right? It all happens. It happens, you know. It happens where maybe some emotion might come up, where we might feel reactive. And of course, in the moment, we're not going to see, this is not a lesson. This is the true reality. This is my challenge. That I don't even know if I'm going to get out of this. It seems like it's never going to end. But of course, this too shall pass, and it ends. And then you come back, and now you've learned a lesson. So really, in my experience, a lot of times we think that the worst case scenario is going to be this terrible thing. But really, oftentimes, the worst case scenario in life, I mean, of course, there's exceptions, unfortunately. But in my experience, what happens is that the worst case scenario, a lot of the times, is just you learn a lesson. You learn a lesson. And so you do that enough times, and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to learn faster. There's going to be mistakes. There's going to be challenges, and I'm just going to learn. I'm going to say, okay, so if there's going to be mistakes, if there's going to be challenges, okay, mistakes are going to happen. Challenges are going to happen. It's like I don't want them to. I don't want to like create this self-fulfilling prophecy where, you know, negative, resistant emotions are going to come up. That's not what I want. But it's okay. I've been focused in my vision long enough to understand that, okay, challenges are going to happen. Resistance is going to happen. Negative emotions, some kind of block is probably going to come up. So my thought process, or I believe that everybody's thought process eventually is, okay, how can I simply learn faster? How can I become a better learner? A better learner. How can you learn better? See, when you put your priorities to learn better, you're going to learn very, very fast, faster than most people, and you're going to get the results that you want much faster, and you're not going to get stuck and entangled in those mistakes for as long, and they're going to not define you. So you're going to become the type of person that just sees every single avenue. You see like the mines in the field that are going to blow up. You can already see this, like, yeah, I've already been down that mine. I'm not going to step on that mine, and I'm not going to let myself get blown because I already stepped on that before. That's the logical thing, right? If you've already stepped on the landmine and you already got destroyed and you came back from it, you're just not going to step on it the next time. Now, the second thing that I want to share with you in this video is that there's nothing wrong with reacting. There's nothing wrong. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not that you're not allowed to react. It's not that like you're not, like, you don't have a right to react. It's not that these emotions are not justified. It's not about that. It's more about, is it helping you to become that person that you truly want to be? That's the real question, right? Is it serving you? Is it supporting you? That's the real question that I think we need to start to be more focused on. Like, is it supporting us? Is it helping us? And if the answer is no, well, then oftentimes we have this fear that we need to be like holding on to it. But what I would say is that you can just let it go. You have full permission to let it go, to remove it, to move forward from it, to not allow it to be a part of your field anymore. But also with the understanding that there's nothing wrong. You can get reactive. You are allowed. It's okay, but it's like through observation, through wisdom, you're like, I can let myself go in any direction that I want. I can do whatever I want. I can complain. I can cry. I can scream. It's all completely welcome. But oftentimes, what I've found is that we become eventually conscious that it doesn't help us. And oftentimes, when we let ourselves get too hung up on these types of experiences and reactive patterns, also, it doesn't even help others. So it keeps us stuck, and then we try to be like chaotic and blow ourselves up and be reactive, and then also we try to like bring other people into that reactivity also. But it's like, you can do that. That's always on offer for you. It's always there for you. But the question is, do you really want that to be a part of your experience? And is it something that you want to allow to control your life? Personally, for me, that is not the type of life that I want to live. I don't want to allow myself to, I don't want to say feel those emotions, because that's not what I'm saying. I would never invite you to repress or not feel any emotion. But I'm not the type of person to get hung up and stay stuck in some sort of complaining or reacting type of energy. I'm just not going to stay there. I might feel it sometimes, of course. I'm human. If you're a human, you will feel these emotions. But I think that the key is not to get hung up on them, if that makes any sense. So to conclude this video, what I want to share with you is to reframe every mistake that you will ever make in your life. Right? Every mistake, every challenge, every obstacle. What I want you to do to test this out for yourself, to see how it benefits you, to see, does this help your life? What I invite you and encourage you to do is to see that lesson, to see that mistake, and to choose to reframe it as a lesson. As a lesson. It was just a lesson. It was a dark space where I learned something. And it's going to make you better. It's going to make you better. It's going to make you more powerful. And more power doesn't mean that you are a bad person, because people associate power with negativity. In my personal experience, I don't believe that, because power means you have the option to keep going into those kind of spaces that are not going to help you or anybody. That's power. But you have so much power, you have so much capacity. You say, you know what? I've been in those realms of suffering, and I'm going to choose to not go there. I'm going to choose to learn to take that and not just call it a lesson, but integrate it and to really turn it into something better, to turn it into gold. That's alchemy. Alchemy is taking dirt and turning it into gold. That's what it is. And so I'm going to conclude the video there. And so the thing is, just take it into turn. Like, here's the thing. Choose to see it as a lesson and then move on. Okay, and with that, I conclude this video. Once again, If you want an opportunity to work with me one-on-one personally, all the details for that will be down below. As always, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next